Imagine waking up in the morning, and before even opening your eyes, your mind is already racing, revisiting what went wrong yesterday, anticipating the challenges of the day that's just begun. You brush your teeth thinking about emails to reply to, drive to work reliving an old argument, or projecting conversations that haven't even happened. It's as if our lives are always divided between what has passed and what is yet to come, but rarely anchored in the now. This constant oscillation between the past and the future disconnects us from the only moment that truly exists, the present. The here and now is the only space where we can feel, act, and transform. Yet, in the rush of daily life, we often forget this. In Buddhist tradition, the present moment is seen as a rare gem, a unique opportunity to awaken. The practice of being here and now is more than just a philosophical idea, it's a pathway to reducing suffering and finding inner peace. As one of Buddha's most famous teachings says, do not dwell on the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. In this video, we'll explore how living in the present can transform your life. We'll uncover what keeps us tied to the past and the future, learn ancient teachings that illuminate this practice, and discover practical tools to cultivate presence in our daily lives. The human mind has a fascinating ability, it can travel through time. In one moment, we're reliving memories, whether joyful or painful. In the next, we're projecting the future, trying to predict what's to come or worrying about what could go wrong. It's as if we have an internal time machine. While this ability can be helpful in some situations, it often robs us of peace. Consider this: how many times have you been in a meeting or enjoying time with friends, yet your mind was stuck on something that happened days ago? Or perhaps on a problem that hasn't even occurred but feels as real as the air you breathe? This mental pattern creates a cycle of stress and anxiety that disconnects us from our own lives. In Buddhism, this mental behavior is called dukkha, a state of dissatisfaction that arises from clinging to the past and the constant desire to control the future. We get stuck in regrets, replaying what can no longer be changed, or we worry about scenarios that often never come to pass. This prevents us from enjoying the present moment and causes unnecessary suffering. Think about how this manifests in daily life. Instead of savoring a meal, we rush to finish it, already thinking about the next task. Instead of appreciating a conversation, we get distracted by phone notifications or random thoughts. We live on autopilot, missing what's right in front of us. This disconnection isn't just emotional, but also physical. The body is always present, but the mind is often somewhere else. And it's in this separation that much of our discomfort lies. Fortunately, there is a way to break this cycle, and it begins with awareness. Buddha's teachings are a true compass for those who wish to live in the present moment. He reminds us that the now is the only reality we have. In the Dhammapada, one of Buddhism's most important texts, there's a passage that says, "The fool laments what is past and worries about what is yet to come, but the wise live with full attention in the present." This teaching invites us to step out of the mental prison of the past and the future, and to realize that the present moment is enough in itself. It calls us to witness the impermanence of all things, or anicca, as it is known in Buddhism. Nothing stays the same. Everything is in constant flux: emotions, circumstances, the people around us. Clinging to what has been or what is yet to come is to resist the nature of life. When we anchor ourselves in the now, something powerful happens. Suffering, which often arises from attachment and expectations, begins to fade. It's not that challenges magically disappear, but our relationship with them changes. We start to see them clearly, without the distortion of anxiety or regret. By embracing the now, we discover that it's not just a refuge, but also a portal. A portal to a life that is more mindful, lighter, and more connected to our essence. Mindfulness is the key to experiencing the present moment deeply. This practice, central to Buddhism, teaches us to observe life as it is, without judgment, with curiosity and acceptance. But mindfulness isn't something reserved for monks or spiritual masters, it's something we can all cultivate, starting right now. One of the simplest and most effective ways to practice mindfulness is through meditation. Breath meditation, for example, is a powerful exercise to slow the mind and bring focus to the present. It's straightforward: sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on the rhythm of your breathing. Don't try to control it, just observe it. When thoughts arise, and they certainly will, acknowledge them and gently return your attention to the breath. This practice may seem small, but its effects are profound. It teaches us to respond instead of impulsively reacting to situations. It helps calm the constant stream of thoughts and reconnects us to the here and now. But mindfulness isn't limited to formal meditation. It can be integrated into everyday activities. While drinking coffee, notice its texture, aroma, and taste. While walking, feel the contact of your feet on the ground. Even washing dishes can be a mindfulness practice, focusing on the feel of the water and the sound of the dishes. This presence transforms us. Scientific studies have already proven that mindfulness practices reduce stress, improve concentration, and promote physical and emotional well-being. It's like training the mind to live more lightly and fully, without being swept away by worries or regrets. By cultivating mindfulness, we realize that every moment holds treasures that we previously overlooked. Each instant becomes an opportunity for connection, not only with the world around us, but also with our own being. Emotions are like waves in the ocean of our minds, some come softly and calmly, while others rise as overwhelming storms. When faced with difficult emotions, our natural tendency is to suppress, ignore, or be consumed by them. But the practice of the present moment offers a different approach, a way to observe and welcome these emotions with compassion and curiosity. Thich Nhat Hanh, one of the great masters of mindfulness, teaches that we should embrace our difficult emotions as a parent would soothe a crying baby. Instead of rejecting or fighting them, we can acknowledge them and say to ourselves, "I see you, sadness," or "I recognize you, anxiety." This simple act of recognition begins to dissipate the intensity of the emotion. Mindfulness helps us create a safe space to observe these emotions without being swept away by them. When we feel anger, for example, we can pause and breathe instead of reacting impulsively. We can ask, where is this anger coming from? What is it trying to show me? This approach provides clarity and allows us to deal with emotions more healthily. The beauty of this practice is that it teaches us to see emotions as part of the human experience. They are messages, not enemies. And when we welcome them with kindness, we realize they have much to teach us about our values, our desires, and even the wounds that still need healing. Being present in our relationships is one of the greatest gifts we can offer to the people we love. In a world full of distractions, where conversations are interrupted by notifications and important moments go unnoticed, mindfulness in human interactions becomes a powerful tool for connection. When we are truly present in a relationship, whether with a partner, friend, family member, or colleague, we silently communicate, "I see you. I hear you. You matter." This presence has the power to transform even the most strained bonds. The practice of active listening is one of the most effective ways to apply mindfulness in relationships. When someone speaks, listen with full attention, without mentally planning your response or being distracted by other thoughts. Observe not only the words, but also the expressions, tone of voice, and feelings behind what is being said. This deep presence makes the other person feel valued and understood. Another powerful practice is empathetic observation. Before reacting in a conflict, pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, what is this person feeling right now? What do they need? This brief moment of pause and reflection can completely change the course of a difficult conversation, transforming reactivity into compassion. Simple exercises can also strengthen presence in relationships. How about setting aside a few uninterrupted minutes each day with someone you love? It could be a phone-free breakfast or a walk where the only rule is to be mindful of the moment together. These small gestures create meaningful memories and nurture bonds. By being present, we not only nourish our relationships, but also become more aware of the impact we have on others' lives. We discover that mindfulness is not just an act of care for others, but also a path of personal growth. The present moment is more than a spiritual practice or a technique to enhance well-being. It is, at its core, an act of freedom. When we connect to the now, we break the invisible chains that tie us to the weight of the past and the uncertainties of the future. It's as if, for a fleeting moment, time stops, and we can breathe in peace. In Buddhism, this freedom is often described as a state of awakening. It's not about attaining something external, but about realizing that everything we need is already here, in this very moment. Buddha's quote, "The miracle is to walk on earth," perfectly encapsulates this idea. We don't need to seek grand revelations or extraordinary experiences to find freedom, it lies in the simplicity of now. When we allow ourselves to live in the present, we discover that many of our worries and sufferings are constructs of the mind. Anxiety about what's to come and guilt about what's past lose their grip. We become lighter, more aligned with the reality of who we are and what we are experiencing. This freedom also connects us to a profound sense of gratitude. By noticing the beauty in an ordinary moment, the warmth of the sun on our skin, the sound of leaves rustling in the wind, the smile of someone we love, we realize that happiness isn't somewhere distant, it's here, now. The present is a portal to peace. When we're in it, we need nothing beyond what we already have. And it's this simplicity that gives us the freedom to just be, without rush, without pressure, without burden. Living in the present moment is a journey that reconnects us to what is most essential, our own existence. In every moment, we have the chance to start anew. To appreciate what's in front of us. To embrace our emotions with kindness. To connect more deeply with those we love. The present moment asks nothing more than our attention and our willingness to be here, exactly as we are, exactly where we are. Life happens in the now. And in every moment, it offers us the miracle of simply being. Embrace this gift. Live it fully,